All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're unpacking a really powerful mythic story called The Sovereign Rises, The Crimson Jester. And this is a story that kicks off in a world that has, for all intents and purposes, already ended, but where a brand new, and frankly dangerous, power is about to set everything on fire.
So, our story begins right here, in this gray, quiet world that exists after something called the Great Surrender. And this one line from the source material, man, it just perfectly captures the vibe. A world that's not just in ruins, but a world that was built on ideas that completely and utterly failed.
So what exactly was this Great Surrender? Well, it was the moment humanity, who are now called the Last Men, basically made a collective deal. They decided to trade their will to strive, their ambition, for total, absolute safety and comfort. They just gave up the fight.
And this is what that world looks like. Humanity is now living in what's called a golden page. Yeah, it's total security, but it comes with this sweet oblivion. They've willingly swapped the dangerous, breathtaking peaks of existence for a very comfortable, very predictable valley. But the really interesting question is, who's in charge of this new world order?
You see, the world is completely locked in this state of stasis, and it's defined by two massive opposing forces. You've got a creator on one side, and on the other, a figure of absolute denial. This is the core conflict of the world, before everything gets completely flipped on its head.
So on one side, we have Mephistopheles, the Watcher on the throne. This guy rules from the Tower of Inferno, and he's weaponized the herd to keep his control. He is literally called the Spirit Who Denies. Then, on the other side, you have Wotan. He's the meaning of the earth. He stands in glorious isolation and poured his own blood ink into the soil just to create a single defiant emerald spire. It's this lonely, beautiful act of creation in a world that's just decaying.
But this whole two-sided struggle, it's about to be completely shattered. A new disruptive force is on its way, and its arrival is anything but quiet. This new character, he doesn't come down from the heavens, and he doesn't rise up from some political movement. No, the source material is very clear. He is an eruption, straight from the terrifying depths of the human condition itself, from a place that civilization really thought it had tamed and bred out of existence.
And here he is, the Jester. They call him the mountain man of self-love. But look, when you hear that, don't think of it in a petty way. This is a new, dangerous selfishness, a radical, all-consuming focus on creating oneself. He's not here to be a savior for the masses. The text calls him a torchbearer for himself.
So what makes him tick? What's his motivation? Well, his heart is described as a conflagration, a raging, uncontrollable fire. He has absolutely no interest in serving the flies of the marketplace, the petty, everyday wants of the comfortable masses. His whole goal is to create incendiaries, to spark fires in other people, not to just provide warmth and comfort to the herd.
And this just brilliantly sums up his attitude toward the powers that be. He looks up at Mephistopheles' Tower of Inferno, the absolute center of control, and he doesn't feel fear. He feels malicious joy. He laughs, because to him, the entire system is just a fragile, pathetic joke.
Now, that laugh isn't just for show. It is rooted in a complete and radical philosophy, a worldview built on fire, on danger, and on constantly overcoming yourself.
This is his big proclamation, a direct attack on the world of the last men. Where they see value in comfort, he sees nothing but decay and weakness. Woe, he declares, to the full and the comfortable, to anyone who has simply stopped striving.
He even has his own inverted beatitudes. Think about that. He doesn't bless the meek or the poor in spirit, no. He blesses the despisers and the lonely, the ones who have the guts to reject the herd's morality and create their own virtues from scratch.
So what's the goal of all this? The Overman. But what's so fascinating here is that the Overman isn't some final destination. It's not a trophy you get at the end. It's described as an abyss. It's a terrifying rope that you have to walk, stretched between being a comfortable animal and becoming something more, a state of constant, dangerous becoming. And because his philosophy is so demanding, the Jester's message is definitely not for everyone. He explicitly turns his back on the masses. He is not trying to start a movement. He's on a search for fellow creators, those rare few who can actually handle what he calls the lightning of existence. So, having completely rejected the old world, the Jester sets out on a new journey. He's not trying to fix this wasteland. He's leaving it behind
to go forge something entirely new.
And he's not traveling with an army or a group of followers. Nope. His only companions are symbolic. He has the eagle, which represents his proud will, and the serpent, which represents his cunning wisdom. That's it. Those are the only tools he needs.
And where's he going? Well, his ultimate destination isn't some kind of paradise. The text calls it a new, harsh Olympus, a challenging realm that's only fit for these new creators, these new kinds of gods. It's a place that's defined by struggle, not by rest.
The principle that's guiding this whole journey is amor fati, which means a love of fate. But the source material calls it something even more intense, a terrible love of one's entire destiny. This means you embrace everything that happens to you, the triumphs, the tragedies, the pain, the joy, and you see all of it as necessary. It is the ultimate yes to life in all its beautiful and terrifying forms.
And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. The Jester's arrival fundamentally changes the entire game. The world's conflict, this ongoing proof, is no longer just a simple tug-of-war between Wotan, the creator, and Mephistopheles, the denier. A third, completely sovereign force has just stepped onto the field.
This final metaphor from the source just perfectly nails his role in all of this. He is a lightning bolt that strikes a stagnant pond. Think about that. He has zero interest in gently lighting the way for the fish who are living in their murky comfort. His arrival is a violent, energetic blast that boils the water, forcing everything in it to either evolve and survive the heat or perish.
And that really leaves us with a pretty challenging thought, doesn't it? This whole story is built on the idea that ultimate comfort is actually the ultimate prison. So the question it forces us to ask ourselves is, if comfort is a cage, what does true freedom really look like? And, maybe more importantly, is it something we would even want?